Boom! What's up, Waves Capital? It's really Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. And in this video, I want to talk to you about my new favorite stock, which also falls into the sector that I believe could be the face of the next hype cycle. And this stock is slowly becoming my #1 seed of 2023. So hopefully this pans out well. But this stock, as you already know because it's in the title, is C3 AI Inc. or ticker symbol AI. Okay, they really locked in a solid ticker symbol there. But we will be talking price targets. I do think this thing has major potential over the course of 2023, especially as the greater trend of AI picks up momentum. And again, maybe not even technologically, but as far as the cultural zeitgeist is concerned, which as traders, especially over these past couple of years, we all know is very, very real. So again, later on in the video, we will be talking price targets over the course of 2023 heading into the summer. Again, you guys, this is all speculation, but I will rationalize these price targets for you. And, they're optimistic, but this could absolutely happen given the nature of the markets right now. And I'll explain why that is from a macroeconomic perspective too. So we'll get a little bit of macro, but we will be talking price targets. I do want to talk to you guys about my thoughts around the general AI space by reading over kind of the piece I wrote on C3 AI in one of my recent newsletters when I introduced it to the Waves portfolio. So I'll talk to you guys about my general thoughts on the nature of AI, why the cultural phenomenon that is happening right now will contribute heavily to the price action we see in kind of market leaders within the sector like C3 AI. And I want to talk to you guys as well about how I'm personally positioning myself, how I'm structuring my portfolio, and kind of how I'm structuring my plan of attack when it comes to capitalizing on what I believe is a stock with a lot of potential, but it may take a little bit more time. I will be completely transparent and say that I am, as far as the short term is concerned, a little bearish on the markets. My portfolio is structured in a way to where I am protected from downside. I do have a lot of put options on deck at the time of recording, which is December 9th. So if you guys are watching this at a later date, maybe even into the new year, even into 2023, then it's all good because the fundamentals of this company hold strong. But if you guys are watching this right as I upload it, just know that in the short term, there might be some even better opportunities to load up on AI stock, like personally I did today. So I took advantage of today's pullback, and hopefully you guys get some opportunities over time. Okay, so I'm excited to talk to you guys about this. Please let me know in the comments down below if you are already familiar with C3. I trust you guys are smart. I trust there are a few of you who are already exposed to this, maybe even have positions in it. So regardless, I'm excited to talk to you guys about, again, a stock that I'm excited about. And once again, this is, I would say, my new favorite, and as of right now, my potential #1 seed or #1 pick of 2023. So before we get into price, before we get into just my thoughts and kind of my trading strategy for C3 AI, I do want to read over not just their homepage, because that's always something good to do when you're first investing in a company, but I really want to go over their recent earnings report that they just announced a couple of days ago, which turned me onto the stock in the first place, and really got me excited. Seeing their growth metrics and seeing really how much potential this company has, especially again in a space that's taken over the cultural zeitgeist, is very, very exciting. So let's just quickly read over this, you guys. If you're thinking about investing in C3, and this goes with every stock we ever talk about, always go to their website, take a look at their investors tab. I believe there's a company right there, investors. Go to the investors tab, read up, watch their video, corporate overview. We'll just read this and then we can get into some of the metrics from their quarterly results. So C3 AI is the enterprise AI application software company. C3 AI delivers a family of fully integrated products, including the C3 AI application platform, an end-to-end platform for developing, deploying, and operating enterprise AI applications, and C3 AI applications, a portfolio of industry-specific SaaS enterprise AI applications that enable the digital transformation of organizations globally. Okay, so good stuff there, you guys. Again, I recommend you guys go watch this video. If I'm being honest, I didn't watch the entire thing, but you can skip through it. Just find the parts that you feel are necessary. But I mean, if you guys are taking if you guys do decide to take on a life-changing stake relative, obviously, to your net worth or your deployable capital, you should probably watch the whole thing. Personally, I'm not going all in on this. Of course, that's part of just responsible portfolio construction. But I did establish some positions today, and I'm excited to see what happens with those. So again, before we talk price, we will get into the straight trading strategy. But let's go over these numbers first. And we'll keep this short and sweet. These are just numbers. But revenue, 72.3 million. And I'm not even going to read over these, you guys. You can read this for yourself, pause it. But what I really want to highlight here is the year-over-year growth. So the YY is year-over-year percentage change. You see 38%, 31%, 43, 62. For a company in such a hyper-growth industry, like a hyper-growth sector, I mean, I guess this is to be expected. So this isn't that surprising, and this isn't even up there with some of the crazier companies in terms of fundamental growth rate. But C3 AI, as we can see here, does currently have a market cap of 1.3 billion. And we'll actually zoom out once we dive into the charts to see how far this stock has freaking come down, not only from its all-time high, but from its IPO price as well. So I do want to talk about market cap a little bit, but I do want to discuss right now before we dive further into the numbers that their market cap is 1.3 billion. Okay. So I'll also talk about kind of like longer term price targets in this, but let's just wait for that. Okay. So before we do dive into this stuff and talk about the cultural aspect of AI, and once again, why that's important as investors or as traders, I would say more in my case, I'm actually an investor and a trader because I'm holding calls and common shares of this. But again, more on that after we read this. So let's actually zoom in on this a little bit. So this is from the CEO. Whoa. Our fourth quarter, sorry about that. I'm just going to zoom out on this. It's tweaking. Our fourth quarter results showed continued strength across the business and came in ahead of expectations, with revenue growing 38% year over year, said CEO Thomas M. Siebel. Our full fiscal year was equally strong. Revenue increased 38% to 252.8 million compared with fiscal 2021. Importantly, we continued to diversify our customer base throughout the fiscal year, with notable expansion in defense, intelligence, utilities, agriculture, chemicals, aerospace, and manufacturing. Those are all buzzwords, but hey, if they're buzzwords in the financial markets, those are industries that you want to be touching. So that's a cool thing about AI, you guys, and SaaS AI. And I actually just watched a recent All In podcast. I highly recommend you guys go watch, if not the most recent All In podcast, but type in All In podcast clips on YouTube and go for the one where they're talking about chatgpt. And actually David Friedberg, I don't know if you guys are familiar, but go watch that, you guys. A bunch of billionaires talking about just the nature of the financial markets, just cool developments in technology and revolutionary things like this. They also reinforce the fact that this could potentially be, at least David Friedberg, as I just mentioned, the next hype cycle. So when I say hype cycle, think crypto is a good example of that. Riot blockchain, Miss Mara, some of the names we know a lot around here, biotechs, and as soon as COVID popped off, like Moderna, Inovio, those guys, cannabis back in 2018, etc. The market caps of these companies, if we do see AI, C3 AI, and just artificial intelligence from an overall sector perspective, experience this hype cycle phenomenon, then AI stock will eventually get to a point where it makes no sense as far as the market cap is concerned, okay? This could potentially get to, a $50 billion market cap, which makes no sense even if this company, even ridiculously valuing this company. The valuation won't make sense. But that's the beauty of hype cycles, and that's the beauty of why the cultural aspect of it, again, the amount of eyeballs and the amount of excitement around the sector is what creates for a hype cycle. Okay, so let's read over this guy again. This is my piece on C3 AI. I believe I wrote it in my newsletter 2 or 3 days ago. Okay, so artificial intelligence has been at the top of everyone's mind as ChatGPT and the Lensa AI app take over the cultural zeitgeist. Although I'm not posting the cheesy slut of myself as an anime character or characters, or just, Mortal Kombat characters, you name the anime, just almost random generated. That's what the AI is. But you guys have seen them around. If you're watching this once again in 2023, this is old news by now. But as of right now, this is freaking everywhere. And honestly, it's getting a little annoying. If you post it like 4 or 5 days ago when you saw the first ones ever, if you're early to it, that's cool. But now it's just, it's getting kind of sad. I'm happy to jump on the bandwagon by investing in a company that's one of the early leaders in the space. Technically, I have no idea where the stock goes over the short term, but as we zoom out, we can see that AI is down 93% from its all-time high and 85% from its IPO price. Okay, so again, that's what I mentioned earlier. Not only is it down 93%, a whopping 93%. This thing was at $1.80 in January of 2021. But since then, it has corrected 93%. Even from its IPO price, you can see right here, is still down 85%, which is, I mean, even for bubble metrics, that's pretty staggering. With the growth metrics we just saw in their Q3 earnings report, once again, we just took a look at them. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this once again becomes a $10 billion plus company down the road, which of course, $1.3 billion market cap would lend itself to, pretty much a 9x from here, right? So, as I said in the Trade Alerts newsletter, so when I send out talking about the trades I make every morning, of course, I will be establishing a call options position when I feel the time is right. So stay tuned for that one. And to segue over here with the Waves Rocket, we are buckled in. WavesCap did establish a call position this morning on C3 AI. So discuss this. I'll quickly discuss my plan of attack for C3 AI. Talk about why that falls in line kind of with these spring summer targets. And we'll wrap up the video there. Okay, you guys? So this morning, this is my Trade Alert newsletter from this morning, okay? So I also decided, this is after my other trades, to establish a longer term call options position in C3 AI. It's very possible that the sector, artificial intelligence, could be the face of the next hype cycle, and I want the portfolio to be prepared in the case that it is. We all know that once those thrusters engage, it's not long until we're in orbit, and I have no idea exactly when the launch is coming, but I want WavesCap to be buckled in when we do. So, if you guys have been part of Waves Capital for a while, if you guys have followed me over the past couple of years, almost going on 3 years now, it's crazy. But even if not, I can just explain to you the way that I've structured my trading strategy and the style that I trade with now. Keep in mind, I have tried day trading, I've tried kind of long-term investing. I've landed somewhere in the middle of those two where I'm an active swing trader. So I trade sometimes on, 1 to 2 week time horizons, depending on the call options or put options that I'm trading. Right now, short-term put options are some of my larger positions, if I'm being honest. But with CP3, I will say that the calls I bought here are spring calls. So in late spring are my call positions of the expiration dates on these contracts. And the way I built my career over the past few years, the way I've made money, trust me, I've lost a lot of money, especially this past year, but I'm still significantly up relative to my long-term performance. And the way I've done that over the years is taking very high-risk positions, but obviously calculated positions, at least in my mind, in companies that I believe could 5x. So again, say this company 5x's. Say we see a hype cycle, this thing 5x's to $60, right? $60 per share. If I have call options on this, the beauty of call options and call options contracts is that you're pretty much trading 100 of those shares. So it's just hyper leveraged trading in a sense, if you want to think of it that way. That's almost how I think of it. So take a bunch of risks. This is what I do. I'm not telling you guys to do this. This is what I do. Take a bunch of small to mid-sized risks on a handful of companies that you believe have the potential to 5 to 10x, and call options, of course, in that case, 100, you can see like 100x's, 200x's. That's what I've done as a trader. And then, you take some profits and on to the next. And that's how I've decided to trade. So that's a little look into how I'm thinking about C3 AI. We'll close it out on the charts after this. But you guys, if you do want to know how I'm trading my personal portfolio on a day-to-day basis, that's the first link down below, my complete portfolio and daily newsletter. If you want to join Waves Capital, for real, you guys, if you want to join the winning team, at least most of the time. I'm not going to guarantee we win all the time. That's completely unrealistic, but I do my best to win. And of course, that's a luxury that I've, not a luxury, but something I've just worked on over the years. This is my job, you guys. This is what I spend all day, every day doing pretty much. So again, if you want to join WavesCap, it's the first link down below. You receive everything you can read in this box right here. I don't feel it necessary to read through that. But if you want to join, you guys, you choose any of your pricing plans. You can unsubscribe at any time. You can try it free for 7 days. If you don't like it, you can just peace out. But I trust you guys will be sticking around. I'm excited for what 2023 has in store. Not only 2023, but the rest of 2022, because I'm confident Wavescap's going to close this one out with a bang. And I'm excited to, again, redeploy some of these hopeful put profits into some more AI calls and some other calls on stocks that I'm really excited about. I'll just scroll down the watch so you guys can get a good little insight into what I'm talking about, what we're talking about over in the newsletter. So again, complete breakdown of my entire portfolio, updated on a daily basis, and then I send out my trade alert newsletter explaining my trades, explaining what's going on in the macro, and then the price targets newsletter, which is just me going over charts and real-time price targets. Okay, so again, appreciate it if you guys join. If not, no worries at all. I appreciate you watching this video. Let's close it out with some price targets. So again, we'll zoom out quickly before zooming back in, and kind of talking about these very optimistic price targets. But as you can see, C3 AI, right? Shortly after its IPO, they really chose a prime time to IPO. They got AI. I don't know how they locked in the AI ticker symbol only IPOing back in 2020, but they're stoked they got it. And right after the IPO, went absolutely ballistic, hit a high of $183. Since then, obviously, currently sitting at $12.20, we have corrected over 93%. And then from, I would say just the low, I don't know where exactly, maybe they IPO'd at like $99, $100, but we'll just take the low of the day at $90 of their IPO day, of their first day on the NASDAQ. And they're $90. So from $90 to $12, they corrected 86%. So honestly, if we do see the hype cycle, I do think it's entirely possible by the end of that hype cycle, so like the tippy top, to hit this area right here, which is, again, the low of the IPO day. This will take us back up to, of course, $90. The IPO price is typically a good target. We talk about reversion to the mean downside because we're kind of in a bear market. So reversion to the mean to the downside is similar to the upside. Okay, if you're on either end of the spectrum, you got to find that middle ground. And for C3 AI, that middle ground is likely going to be their IPO price, or at least the low of the IPO day. So I do think at some point C3 AI will reclaim $90. I do think if the hype cycle comes, that is very possible. Maybe it's at the end of 2023. Hey, maybe it's in 2024. I really don't know. But I do think that the AI space will have its time to shine. Again, considering, I'm not even going to reference that because I got to scroll back down, but considering AI is freaking snowballing its way, just ripping its way into the cultural zeitgeist and into the minds of the masses, that's very good. And again, guys, we've all seen what happens. We've all been here in crypto. We've all seen what happens to Riot tomorrow when the valuations just go absolutely out of whack. But hey, if we're positioned, if Wavescap is ready, that's how we make those life-changing gains. Okay, so I'm excited to see what happens here. I will say I do think in the shorter term, say like if we do see a rally into the new year, into January, which I actually think we don't rally until January, but maybe January, February, I do think that C3 AI will eventually close this gap over here that we saw back in September of this year. So this gap, massive gap down. I do think this gap does need to be filled. It has not yet been filled. So the first leg up, and again, I don't know how long this takes you guys. Maybe it takes more than a few months. But I do think that ultimately, over the next few months, that's just my opinion, we will reclaim like the 1780, 1790 level to close this gap. And then from there, if we do start to see momentum build, which again is entirely possible given the nature of just artificial intelligence's break into culture, I do think that it's possible for C3 AI to retest this level of prior support as new resistance, TA101 right there, that's a cyan line, which would lead us, if we take it to like, okay, so pretty conservative, June 2023, over 6 months out from now. A lot of time in the financial markets, especially with small caps like this. I think it's very, very possible for C3 AI to reclaim the $34 to $35 level, which would translate to, from here, 183% on upside. Again, that's like, you're looking at 100x on your options right there pretty much. That would take us to, once again, just about $35 in the middle of 2023. So there are, again, right now there are factors with inflation metrics, CPIs coming out soon at the time of recording. That's heavy. So maybe we see one more leg down. I think one more leg down is possible. But again, you guys, if we do see that macro leg to the downside, that provides you the opportunity to load up on these gems like Unity, like AI, like Matterport, like Riot, all these names that will come back because they've been so overly beaten down over the past year or two. They will make a comeback, you guys. The harder you fall, the harder you bounce. And I do think that even if we do see one more flush prior to the new year, I think that come February, March, things will start to come back, and I do think it's possible that we rally into the summer. Okay, so that's just my 2 cents, you guys. Please let me know what you think about this right now, what your number 1 seed is for the new year. And yeah, again, if you want to join Waves Cap, I'll see you there. I appreciate you guys watching, and until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.